Today on Houston Life, how your kids can turn into captains of their own ships with a local sailing program.
Plus, we'll meet Alan Hersig, also known as the Bearded Baker, how he went from a career in the energy corridor to running a boutique bakery.
And do you know what to do in the event of a choking emergency? We're going to get a crash course on how to properly do the Heimlich maneuver.
Plus, are you prepared for hurricane season? We'll share the 5 must-have items you need in your emergency kit. All that and more happening today on Houston Life.
Live from Studio B and KPRC2. Houston Life starts now.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Houston Life on this Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. Wow, Courtney, can you believe it's a brand new month already?
Brand new month. Summer's upon us. School's almost out. So some good stuff, you know?
Some good stuff. The weirdest school year ever is coming to an end.
And still trying to keep the kids motivated to stay in school, even though the calendar says June 1st. It's kind of tricky.
I'm sure it is. Well, and summer camp, we're going to get to that later on in today's show because that's something that I realize the spots fill up quickly. A lot of camps have had to change the way they do things because of COVID-19 protocols. But, you know, you're not alone if you're worried about how to occupy your kids' time this summer.
Absolutely. It is tricky because a lot of times summer camps start filling up in March. And so by the time June comes around, typically for me, I'm thinking, oh, I guess I missed that deadline in March. So you just have to really be creative.
There's always a way to sort it out, though, isn't there? I mean, always last-minute sign-ups, or you can get on the wait list.
Yeah, or just let them sleep. I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I think you need a couple days, you know? Everybody loves a good spring, a good summer holiday,
well,
so.
When we were kids, we didn't do summer camp.
I never did.
And there was Boy Scout camp, but I didn't like going to sleepaway camp because I didn't like being away from home.
Right. Well, I never did sleepaway camp at all.
Oh, yeah?
At all.
I did a couple times, and it was good, but I had a lot of anxiety. I still do. That's a story for another day. But we worked. I mean, we worked in the yard. Mm-hmm. We did house projects. It was like summertime came, and we were working in the garden or doing the dishes.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of doing the dishes, you know, we've chatted about this before. I'm very particular about loading the dishwasher.
Okay, the dishwasher conversation, I still haven't figured out the right way to do it.
I know, there's not I mean, I'm sure there is sort of like, maybe there's a program or something, not a program, but, you know, maybe there's like a right and wrong way. What am I trying to think of? Not a program.
A college major, a minor. What's your minor in?
Remember the home ec classes?
Loading dishwashers 101.
Yeah, well, okay, so besides that, there's a way that I like it, and then there's the way the savages in my house load the dishwasher. Totally wrong.
My mom is a savage, too, because recently when I was at her house, I was like, Mom, who loaded the dishwasher like this? Why are the knives facing up?
Major safety hazard.
Knives go down, even butter knives.
Okay, so what about leaving the dirty dishes in the sink?
It happens at our house. I typically don't like to go to bed with any dishes in the sink at all.
Amen. I'm the same way. I also don't like them on the counter if I'm drying, because sometimes there's certain things that you wash by hand and certain things you'll put in the dishwasher, or maybe the dishwasher's clean, sort of like clean and dirty laundry. If the dishwasher's clean, it kind of hangs out there for a minute, doesn't get unloaded right away, and you just kind of hand wash the dishes.
Yeah.
I don't like them on the counter either. I have to put it all away.
Okay.
You know, but I know we chatted about this too, leaving dirty dishes in the sink. Is it good? Is it bad?
Well, it's gross.
It is kind of gross. But here's the thing. This is now foolproof that you should never leave dirty dishes in the sink by our friends over at Mental Floss. This article. Apparently, the longer you leave them, the more bacteria has time to grow. We needed that article to tell us this.
Oh.
According to the article, germs can come from a variety of places, including the ever nasty cutting boards, knives, fruits, veggies, and more. You should wash them as soon as possible.
Well,
don't leave them in the sink.
I think that makes total sense, but there are some things like cutting boards, whether it's plastic or wooden, I never really feel like we can get them totally clean because they have all those grooves. And aren't those little spaces, is that where the bacteria grows?
Yes, absolutely. So even for me, if we're doing something raw meat, chicken, something, I usually pass that off to Orlando. I'm not going to lie. Grosses me out. But I always do it with paper plates or plastic wrap or something that I know I can dispose of and not have to worry about cleaning. Because Can you use cleaner on that kind of stuff? Like a spray cleaner?
I don't know, but I think we should do a future Houston Life segment on
I'm falling off my chair. My feet are dangling. I'm falling off the chair. Short people problems. But, I mean, isn't that crazy? Do you leave we've already established we're not leaving our dirty dishes in the sink.
No. Just clean it up, and then you feel better because you wake up to a clean kitchen, nothing in the sink.
Is it you or Brandon that starts cleaning up the kitchen when dinner's ready and you haven't sat down? Who does that?
Well, he usually cleans as he goes. Typically, he cooks and I do the cleaning, but I always insist I do the cleaning, you do the cooking.
Right.
It's only fair, so I usually do the cleanup.
Orlando's such a great cook. He really is. Great foodie. But he's a mess in the kitchen.
Oh, no. He doesn't clean as he goes?
Oh, it's stuff everywhere. I mean, the paper, the stuff, floor, it's everywhere. It's on the cabinet, it's everywhere. But he's a great cook. Just got to follow him around.
Well, boys are dirty. You should know this by now.
I know. I have a house full of them, including a four-legged one. Super dirty.
Here's a question for you. Shifting from phones, from dishes to phones, how about that? My wires are always crossed, right?
It's June, baby. You're thinking of summer.
June gloom. How many times a day do you think you pick up your phone?
A lot.
Okay, so there are a bunch of different studies about this.
How dirty it is?
Well, not just how dirty it is. That is true. I try to do my little Clorox wipes every single day. So depending on the study you read, people pick up their phones hundreds, if not thousands of times every single day.
I believe
Constantly
it.
checking their phones.
I believe it.
Because it could be, you might be looking at Instagram, you might be taking a photo or checking an email or maybe picking up and actually making a phone call.
Who does that?
Well... I call my mom usually every day, but it's usually hands-free. I don't usually hold the phone like this. That's rare. So here's the thing. An estimated 3 billion plus smartphones are on planet Earth. And Americans, we're guilty of being the most distracted by our phones, right? So, I have this theory that phones are sort of really causing problems for all of us. Like, we're forgetting how to interact socially.
Making eye
about
contact.
appropriate behavior. Making eye contact, sitting at dinner with someone, actually looking at them instead of your phone screen. I really do think it's changing the way the world is working. Instead of actually talking to someone and getting to know them and asking them on a date, we're busy, like, doing this.
Or a lot of times, don't you think, too, people pick up the phone, quick text, I'm going to check in. I don't have to say goodbye, or I gotta go, or I don't have a second to talk, but here's my text.
Yeah, you don't have like proper correspondence. Maybe punctuation goes out the window because your phone does everything for you. And you might miss the love of your life right in front of you because you're too busy like swiping like a robot. Anyway, so there's this new thing. If you feel like you are addicted to your phone, have you heard of the no phone?
No. Wait, does that just mean you don't have a phone?
Well, no. There is a phone called the No Phone. It is a brand new smartphone. It can help. So check it out.
No, wait a minute.
There's no screen, no data plan, no battery, no charger.
It's just a thing of plastic?
Well, I don't know if it's made of plastic. It looks like plastic. But this, Courtney, is finally a solution for people who feel like they have this constant need to have a phone in their hands. This was even featured on Shark Tank. It is available on Amazon for the low price of $15. But if you go to the No Phone website, you can get a deal. It's only $12.
So it's not really a phone. You're going to have a phone that's not a phone to say I don't have a phone?
It is a phone. It's a no
works?
phone. It's a no phone. Why is it so complicated?
Why do you even have it then? I get you're trying to break the habit, but you're still picking up nothing.
You could swipe, but nothing will happen.
Isn't that worse to be around somebody with a no phone?
Just check out the no phone.
Okay, just go with the story?
Go with it.
Okay.
Jeez.
It doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. Why are people buying it?
It's a no phone, because if you are constantly looking at a screen, why not get a phone without a screen? If you're addicted to Instagram, get a phone that won't actually access Instagram.
But you're just going to hold it? It's like a lovey?
Yeah.
Why didn't we invent that? That's crazy.
I love
it. I remember that time you got invited to a wedding recently? family.
Which one?
I don't know.
My cousin?
Yeah, Idaho, right?
They asked for my wedding, or for my address so they could send a wedding invitation. This is how close I am.
Past.
They don't even have my address.
Well, that's understandable. Not a lot of people do use snail mail. I love a good card in the mail.
The wedding invitation, though, arrived after the wedding happened.
I know. So guess what? Not
Beatrice?
Coming.
Beatrice is like, oh, no. Yeah, so why do you think, Beatrice, they sent one? Because they just want a gift, right?
Obvious.
I know, I'm onto that trick.
Yeah. Well, listen to this. This is a whole different scenario. But a woman turned down her niece's wedding invitation because she didn't get a +1. So Daily Mail posted this. It's trending online. The aunt was upset that her boyfriend of 2 years wasn't invited, wasn't included. When the bride got the invite back, it was basically covered in angry notes, most rude and hurtful. And you shouldn't have sent one at all, basically, is what she's saying.
So if my boyfriend's not invited, I'm not attending.
Yes. Well, here's the bride's side. She said it was a bare bones wedding because of the pandemic.
Okay.
And they were limiting the amount of people. But I'm wondering if other spouse, or maybe the boyfriend of many years, so spouses or significant others were not allowed to come either. It just is like the etiquette thing. I mean, I feel like if it was a new relationship, that's where you could say, but you've been together for a very long time, part of the fam.
What if the aunt has had, I don't know, like a dozen boyfriends over the years, and the family's just like, well,
here we go again.
There's another one. I mean,
another bad relationship we all got to hear about.
2 years. I can see both sides because weddings are expensive, right? And we know that most couples, when they're getting married, they're paying per attendee. And so to include a +1 for everyone, if you want to keep it small, maybe she drew the line and said no +1s for anyone.
Don't know. I'm going to need more information.
One of my best friends was getting married once, and one of her bridesmaids asked if she could bring her mom to the wedding. Like, if she could... If the +1 could be her mom.
Oh. Did she have a +1?
Like, no. Like, I'd love to come to your wedding. Can I bring my mom?
No, you're not invited.
She didn't get a +1 with her invitation.
Right, so it's just you.
Yeah, but she asked if she could bring her mom. And it put our friend in sort of an awkward situation. Because she didn't want to sound like she was being mean, like, no, don't bring your mom. But
she wanted to say, no, don't bring your mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I feel like we could do a whole
hesitating?
show on, like, awkward wedding moments.
Or just awkward social moments.
Yeah.
Right? I can see, like, the spinning of the wheels in your head.
Well, okay, so here's a question. Let's say you're getting married and you want to keep your wedding relatively small. You don't want to invite one coworker of 5 coworkers because then you feel like you need to invite all your coworkers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to invite...
Are you leaving me off the invite?
No, that's not what I'm saying. And I'm not planning a wedding also. But let's say you had a cousin. I want to invite one cousin, but then is it weird if I don't invite the rest of my family? When we get married, none of my extended family is getting invited. Only my mom and my sisters and their families.
Well, that makes sense because you don't have a relationship with those people.
Well, I also have 100 first cousins.
Right. But do you know what I'm saying? You don't have a relationship with them. So if you don't have a relationship with them, don't send a wedding invitation. Right?
Yeah.
Because it's so obvious then, the only reason why you're doing that is to get the gift. Not you, but I'm saying that's what the collective you. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
What?
There are just so many awkward wedding stories, but I think we're out of time. I don't think we can continue on now.
I need more information, though. How, you know.
I'm not gonna name any names.
I know. There's more, though. Definitely more to the story. Okay, and there's more coming up on Houston Life. What's the coolest thing you own that doesn't cost very much? The interesting responses from around the web.
My friendship with you, Courtney. Doesn't cost a dime.
Priceless.
Plus, summer camps, they are now open. Find out how to get your kids involved in the Sea Star Base Sailing Program down in Galveston. That's when Houston Life returns in just 2 minutes.
What you know about me? Just what the people say.
Okay, so here's a good question. What is the coolest thing you own that isn't expensive? Do you have an answer, or you want me to give you kind of the backstory first?
Maybe let me think about it for a second.
Okay, it's a question that's actually trending on Ask Reddit, this forum, and the responses really range, okay? So one person says a Robin Williams signed poster of the movie Hook that was sent for free, to a piece of the Berlin Wall, to even a library card.
A library card?
I still have my Houston library card.
I have all of my library cards. I do.
All of them?
I save them. All of them. But I think that Robin Williams poster, I bet that would be worth something.
I know, but I guess it was sent to the person for free, so they
not
didn't.
Expensive.
Right, they didn't have to pay for it.
I don't collect a lot of things like mementos, but I do have years ago, and I think I've talked about this on Houston Life, I was sent on assignment down to the wreckage of the Titanic.
Right.
And because it's 2.5 miles down, there is so much pressure down there, you know, all that ocean above you. It's 150 million pounds of pressure. So what we did is we actually wrote on these styrofoam cups, and we tied them to the outside of the sub, and we put them in like a gunny sack, and as you go down, the pressure of the ocean shrinks them down. So I have these miniature little styrofoam cups that went down to the Titanic with me. My mom has one too. So that's probably what I would say. Didn't cost a dime.
Yeah, it didn't cost a dime. I love it.
How about you?
I would say, I don't know. I don't collect a lot of things either. I have no idea. I'd have to really think about it. I don't know.
What about an intangible item?
I don't know. What?
Box of photographs?
Oh, yeah, a box of photographs. Let's stake with that.
Are you a sentimental person? Because I am a pretty sentimental person, but I'm sentimental in terms of my memories and in terms of places I like to go that remind me of like my mom or Brandon. But I don't typically attach those memories to like physical items. But a lot of people do. A lot of people hold on to an item because it reminds them of something.
Well, and I have cards, you know, special cards like Mother's Day, my first Mother's Day card or something like that. One coveted item that was given to me, I have a football signed by Jim McMahon from the Chicago Bears. So
that's cool.
I love him and stood in line for 7 hours when I was in 7th grade to meet him and sign an autograph. But years later, that football was given to me. So I'm going to go with that.
That is super cool. Do you have it on a little stand in your home?
I do, in a clear, like,
little
shadow
case?
box.
Display case.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I bet our viewers have a bunch of cool stuff they would love to share with us. As always, we want to hear from you. What is the coolest thing you own that isn't expensive? Post your responses on our Houston Life Facebook page and join the conversation.
Absolutely. Okay, your kids can sail off into the sunset this summer with Galveston's Sea Star Base Summer Camp.
Yeah, Joe Sam checked out this new program that is just one of a wide range of activities.
We've been working for a year now getting ready for camp for this summer, and we are super excited about how things are coming together. We're going to have music and drama, yoga. We're going to bring in some sports, basketball and soccer, and a bunch of activities like that. We have a fantastic sailing and waterfront activities. We have a lot of children that are expected to come, and we're really excited about that.
I just love sailing in general. When I was younger, I used to swim a lot for a swim team, and I just loved water. You get to learn a lot of new stuff. And school, they just sit you down and they just tell you what to do. Here, you get to pick what you want to do and you get to sail too, but I love that.
Sailing teaches the kids valuable skills like confidence, self-reliance, and teamwork. Those three aspects of working together on a sailboat and making sure that you can take care of yourself once you're out there. You can't rely on calling ground support or all that stuff. You're out there and you're taking care of your little issues by working as a team.
So we incorporate STEM into all the programs. If you think about like sailing, there's science and math and everything involved in sailing, although it may not be obvious, but our instructors are going to pull STEM topics into everything that they do, so that they can learn STEM while they're learning how to sail.
I'm looking forward to getting more time sailing, and my best friend's coming here too to do the sailing camp, and so we're just going to play around with all the activities they have.
I'm very fortunate to have grown up sailing, and so I really feel grateful to be able to share that love of sailing with the future generation and hopefully build on the culture and the sport that is sailing.
There's a lot of things that you learn from camp because it's experience away from home. You're on your own. You're learning independence. You're learning how to find success through failure. You're learning how to find things that you love to do that you didn't know that you love to do. Also, you're learning how to push yourself and find your strengths and find your own weaknesses, all in a safe environment.
I would have loved this as a kid, and sailing is really an art.
It's really
Difficult.
incredible. Yeah, I mean, the things that you have to know to be familiar with a sailboat, but what a great opportunity.
Do they take adults too?
I hope so.
I don't know about that. Well, they do say that spots are filling up quickly, so act fast if you want to get your kids signed up. We will have a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv.
And by the way, just in a quick glance at this, there are day camps for 8 to 12-year-olds and then resident camps. So you spend a week there, Sunday through Friday, and that's for ages 10 to 17 for that one. So very cool opportunity.
Super cool. 10 to 17, so I guess we're a little too old for it.
Yes.
All right. When we come back, KPRC2 meteorologist Justin Stapleton joins us with the 2021 hurricane season forecast.
And from road trips to sunny days at the pool, we've got your tips to keep your family safe this summer season. Well, welcome back. You know, June 1st marks the beginning of hurricane season each year. So today we are turning to the experts to find out what's in store for us. KPRC2 meteorologist and my friend Justin Stapleton joining us now for this conversation. June 1st. Happy hurricane season?
Yeah, I suppose we could say that because we don't have one out there yet, but then once we do, we'll just go.
I know, but we need to be prepared, and this is one thing I think that a lot of people, you know, we tend to put our guard down. Oh, we've been through it. We know what's up. Let's talk about the prediction for 2021. What are we looking at as far as a prediction for our hurricane season?
Well, it's still early, so there's going to be more predictions that officially come out from the National Hurricane Center. The first one that we usually get is from Colorado State University. They have a climatologist there, Dr. Phil Klotzbach, who has been working on this for 30 years now at this point. So he's predicting a slightly above average season, which is what we've seen over the last 2 to 3 years. Now, that could mean anything from more named storms, but it's not necessarily more hurricanes. You know, so you have to kind of take the brevity of the entire season versus it's going to be, well, that'll mean more hurricanes. Not necessarily. It could be like what we saw with some of the ones last year where they're out in the middle of the Atlantic. They still count, but obviously they're no threat to anyone.
And that's basically sort of, can we quantify an average season?
Yeah, you can, because what's interesting is the hurricane season is based on climatological statistics for a 30-year period. And we've actually just gotten a new update on that one as well. And they've actually upped the average numbers. So instead of it being like 12, 6, and 3, which is 12 number named storms, 6 hurricanes, 3 majors, it's now 14, 7, and 3. Kind of like we were discussing before, is that, you know, we've had a run over the last couple of years of above average seasons. So statistically, they say, okay, well, if that's the case, this is what the mathematics is showing us, we're going to bump our average numbers up.
Okay, well, let's get to the basics here before we get into more questions. What are the 3 things a hurricane needs to form?
Well, there's about 1 billion things that it needs, but the 3 major things it needs, it's got to have something to start itself, and that's basically what you're seeing on the screen there. Some kind of a tropical wave or an area of low pressure. In the Gulf here, sometimes we even get them on the tail end of cold fronts, because a cold front is a little bit of a weakness in the atmosphere, and so it'll allow for that low to spin up real quick. You know those little homegrown systems you see early in the season?
Yeah.
Second thing that you need is you got to have water, right? I mean, a hurricane starts in the Atlantic. It's got to have water. And so not only just plenty of water, which it could get, is especially those big tropical waves that start over in Africa, they've got the entire Atlantic Ocean that they can just sort of suck up and pull that water. The third most important thing, especially here for us in the Gulf states, is you've got to have that warm water, right? And the Gulf of Mexico, I always like to call it the world's biggest bathtub.
Right.
Because the temperature of the water stays relatively warm, and all you need to do is hit 80 degrees, and that's go time for any kind of tropical system.
Really breeding ground for a system, right?
Exactly. It's a great way to put it.
It really does like warm weather. Okay, so as we talk about this, and you know, we've all lived here a very long time, and we understand what it takes for hurricane season. Let's go over that kit. I know a lot of people are thinking, I've lived here. I know. But just don't get caught not having the right stuff in your kit.
Or don't wait till the last minute.
Yeah, because then everything's sold out.
Right, you're going to be fighting everybody just like what we did with
during the freeze.
Exactly. So there's sort of 5 things that you need to have in your kit at all times. The first one is water, right? Everybody's got to have water. You got to have water for the pets, you got to have water for the kids, you got to have water for you. You got to have water for baby formula, for medications, things like that, right? Very important. So always make sure that you've got about, we always like to say 1 to 2 pallets of water, and that's kind of like the big cases, you know, enough for a week for everybody in your family, whether that's 2 people, 4 people, 7 people, doesn't matter.
And don't forget about your pets.
And don't forget about your pets, exactly. Very important. So the second thing is obviously food. Now the mistake a lot of people make, and I see this every hurricane season, if we have a storm that's coming in, they'll get there and they'll go buy, you know, milk and meats and all this other
Everything
stuff.
that needs to be refrigerated.
Everything that needs to be refrigerated, right. And that's the problem. So the big, most important thing with that is non-perishables. Beef jerky, kind bars.
I love beef jerky.
Goldfish, right. I do too. All that stuff. And it lasts forever. So even if you don't necessarily canned tuna, things like that. You know, those are really, really important. Third thing that's really important that you need on there as well is you got to have some kind of a hand crank charger or radio. There's a number of different companies that make them. They're on Amazon too. I found 4 or 5 actually. I was looking last night when I was preparing for this. And that's important because it has multiple chargers, so you can put, you know, iPad, phones, everything, so you can get your devices all set. And it cranks up like an old phonograph, and then you can pop on the radio as well.
You just blew the minds of millennials right there.
I know.
They have no idea what you just said.
Exactly. But it's really important.
No, it is.
Yeah, and they're easy to get. You can get them on Amazon. They range anywhere from, you know, 25 to more expensive ones that are about 100, 120. So you just kind of figure what is ever in your budget. The fourth thing that's important, and a lot of people forget this, medications.
Yeah.
If we have a storm that's coming, go to your pharmacy, get the medication ahead of time because they may be shut down. And you could be in a lot of trouble then, especially for someone who's diabetic.
Absolutely. Yeah, you need those medications, and for everybody in the family as well. Check on your neighbors, too, those elderly neighbors or just people that live alone.
Yeah.
And then also the lighting sources, to make sure you have all those batteries and candles and whatnot.
Flashlights, all of that good stuff as well. Yeah.
I know.
They even make hand-crankable lights, too.
Mine is blown. Let me tell you, during the freeze, we found a ton of flashlights.
Uh-huh.
Didn't have any batteries.
Keep them, bingo, there you go. That's part of the problem.
It was a major problem. Listen, will you send me a little something on that hand crank lighting thing?
I'd be happy to, yeah.
Yeah, definitely post that for us, too, because, again, those young kids are like, what are you even talking about?
It's a game changer if you have one.
It really is, and I appreciate the information and keeping us prepared, and I know you're on it with the forecast.
I will be.
Thanks, Justin. Do appreciate it. As always, you can stay up to the date and the latest information by checking the hurricane page on click2houston.com, a great resource for us. Now we're going to send things over to Derek, who's sad he wasn't part of this conversation today.
Oh, but don't worry. I listened to the entire thing, guys. Justin, thank you for that. Thanks to you too, Courtney. All right, coming up, what to do in case of a choking emergency, the easy steps to remember. Plus, we'll get a check of what's coming up for the news at 4 o'clock when Houston Life returns in just 2 minutes. Welcome back to Houston Life. Learning what to do in case someone is choking is critical. And since today is National Heimlich Maneuver Day, we decided it was time for a refresher on this life-saving technique.
Here to show us the right way to do these abdominal thrusts is Rhoda Strong, instructor of CPR and first aid. Rhoda, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
And I think for a lot of people, this is a little intimidating if you've never gone through a CPR class or anything like that. But God forbid you're in a situation where you can't do something to help. And you say this is very easy to learn.
It is.
Okay.
The Heimlich maneuver will help you expel an obstruction. This is the #1 cause of children's dying, respiratory failure.
Wow.
So the first thing we're going to do is you find the belly button.
Okay.
So on our mannequin here, that would be this white
That's
spot,
correct.
right? So
Find
we
your
want to
belly
hold
button.
up our...
You're going to use your thumb. The air pocket is a thumb's length from the navel. So make a fist right there.
So measuring a thumb's length
Yes,
from the above the belly button. Okay.
Make a fist. You're going to push with this hand. Don't push with the fist. Don't slap. Push hard and fast. Oh, good job. Did it? Okay, so now we're going to learn how to do it on yourself. If you look in the back of your pockets, you'll see some more little peanuts.
Okay.
Put your peanut in.
This is something, Rhoda, that people, if you're actually performing the Heimlich maneuver on a human, what would you feel? Because is a common mistake that people are too gentle with it?
Yes, and that's why we use this device, because then you can see how hard it is to do it.
You got to use a lot of force, right?
Force, yes. But Heimlich maneuver often breaks ribs, so you only want to do the Heimlich maneuver if they're truly choking. If they're truly choking, their hands will be like this. They won't be able to talk, cough, or cry. If they have something enlarged in their throat and they are coughing, talking, or crying, you're going to do the back slap, which you come, put your hand in the front, and hit them right in the back of the shoulder blade.
Oh, that's very interesting.
That way you don't take the chance of breaking their ribs.
Right.
And causing more damage.
So that's good news if they're crying, coughing, and breathing, obviously. Yes. But that's good news that it's not restricting the airway.
That it has a little bit of air coming in, so you do need to help them, but you don't need to do the Heimlich maneuver.
Fascinating.
Now, if you're choking yourself,
okay,
there are many times no one knows what to do. You can take you put your peanuts in?
I did.
Okay,
yes.
And you're going to use this table.
Okay.
And you kind of talk. And put your air pocket right on the edge and push.
So that's the same area where we were, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this could be done like on the back of a chair. It could be done on the edge of a table or a countertop, right?
And because you're tall, you may want something higher than that.
Bring in this.
And just push?
Push.
Thank you.
Push harder. You're choking. Get it out.
Oh, mine just flew out.
I think I'm in the wrong area.
You're right there.
No.
Do you have a peanut in there?
I do.
Your peanut already came out.
My guy is dead. It's in there.
You can do it,
maybe
Susie.
this is it. Okay, same area. I'm still too short.
I think your peanut is right there.
And Rhoda, so this would just be a hard edge, right? You don't want to do it like on the corner of a countertop.
No.
Just truly the back of a chair or...
Yes, a flat edge. Yes. You want to try to put you another peanut in?
I know, he's in there. Maybe it's just too tight.
No, it's in this.
Look, is that not where it's supposed...
No.
Oh, I put it in his mouth.
Well...
It's supposed to be down here. Oh, well, I didn't load the choking mechanism earlier.
While you're working on that, Courtney, what about, there you go. What about infants, small children? The method is a little bit different for them, correct?
Now, with the infants, you're going to use an infant choking exercise. It's completely different, but you still use the back slap if an infant is coughing, talking, or crying. But you'll use a different one where you'll hit the back, 5 back blows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Flip them over, and then you're going to compress their sternum. You can't compress in the same little soft pocket because the infant's liver and kidneys are there. So you're going to use the sternum. The sternum is this hard part right between the 2 nipples. So you'll push with 2 fingers, 5 chest compressions, 5 back blows with the infant instead. Now, if the person passes out, then, because sometimes that's the first time you notice someone is choking. It's a silent death. Then you don't do the Heimlich maneuver. You're going to do CPR. You do Heimlich maneuver on a conscious victim. But once they pass out, you're going to do CPR. Each time you do a compression, it is a swoosh of air that comes up, and it'll pop that object out in about 3 or 4 compressions.
And we're seeing some video right now, Rhoda, of the CPR. This is another case where people need to not be shy, don't hold back, keep those elbows straight, right, and go down with a lot of force.
That's correct, exactly.
And it doesn't take long to learn this, and this is your soapbox. This is something that can really help anyone or yourself as long as you have the knowledge.
That's exactly right. And the repercussions of not knowing are very high, so it's good for everyone to take a CPR class.
I do think so, because even in that panic situation, if you don't know what to do, you panic even more.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, the time
well, this
to
was
learn
an
is
easy
now.
class to take, for sure. For a link to connect with Rhoda, visit our website, HoustonLife.tv.
Yeah, Rhoda, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Life-saving. Okay, still to come on Houston Life, the summer temps mean more time spent outdoors. Whether you are traveling or out by the pool, we are sharing tips to keep the entire family safe.
And Lauren Kelly is standing by with a sweet story of success. Hi, Lauren.
Yeah, I love this, you guys. Ahead, the bearded baker shows us how he gives joy given and received in the form of a cookie. A peek in the kitchen at some of his custom cookies and cakes when Houston Life returns. Alan Hersig is the baker, artist, and entrepreneur behind The Bearded Baker, a boutique specialty bakery in the Heights. And his desserts are known for their amazing and intricate designs, but Alan's main focus is joy given and received in the form of a cookie. Take a look. Today we're at The Bearded Baker in the Heights, and look at these beautiful and delicious cookies that he made for us. Let's go inside and meet the beard behind the business.
So The Bearded Baker is a cookie bakery. We're mostly known for our decorated sugar cookies, our custom orders, kind of really extravagant, elaborate custom sugar cookies. I moved down to Houston in 2014, and that's unfortunately when the bottom of the oil price fell. And I was laid off. To to keep myself busy and to entertain myself, I would cook and bake and try homemade recipes and really just keep my hands busy. And the decorated sugar cookies worked, and I had fun with them. I enjoyed designing them for friends and family and seeing the reaction from friends and family. It just kind of kept snowballing and turned into eventually getting a storefront in the Heights.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Very welcome. All right, Alan, show us how the magic of the cookie comes together.
Absolutely.
What kind of cookie do you have right there?
So this is our sugar cookie, our vanilla sugar cookie. And what we're doing now is outlining it so we can flood it, which gives it that real nice top coverage.
Okay, this is a beard cookie, correct?
Correct.
You make it look so easy.
I've done a couple.
And just like that.
Just like that. It's that easy.
So should I try?
Anybody can do it.
I'm going to try the smaller mustache.
You should. Beautiful.
My first mustache hoodie.
That's right. Watch out, I'll hire you.
Well, you can get more info on the Bearded Baker and his delicious cookies and cakes at HoustonLife.tv. I offered to work for him, but apparently you guys saw by my lack of design skills.
Well, you know what's funny? I looked away for just a second, and then I looked back, and I was like, wow, what's wrong with that?
So happy for him, though. He is so talented. His cookies are not only beautiful, they're delicious.
They are so good, and congratulations, he just got engaged.
Oh, congrats. And also, he was one of our very first guests back in the mall days of Houston Life.
Yeah, I know, and that's when he just started. Yep. So incredible. Lauren,
Awesome, Lauren. Did you bring us cookies?
I got rid of them in my stomach earlier. Sorry. Next time.
Got to go to the Bearded Baker in the Heights.
Okay.
Thanks, Lauren.
Sure.
Well, summer is here, but since we're still in the midst of a pandemic, things will be a little bit different, obviously. So what can we do to keep our families safe?
CEO of Crime Stoppers of Houston, Rania Mankarios, is joining us now with some simple tips. Rania, it is so great to see you. We always love your advice. And it's true, people are going to be hitting the road, taking trips this year, maybe a little different than in years past, because there are a lot of families out there who are still a little hesitant to take an airplane.
We were one of them, actually. We've had to fly this year during this COVID year, and it's scary. You don't know what you need to do, and especially have kids. So this summer, we're already hearing from people that are saying, I'm going to travel. We need to get out. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to fly to friendly skies. I'll be taking these road trips, which are great. But we're encouraging people to not get caught up in the fun and to remember all the safety instances.
And let's go through that, because the most important thing, I think, too, if you're used to flying, traveling by car is a completely different experience, having all those safety things with you.
Yeah, you know, one, of course, have your food and water, especially snacks for kids. That's a must. But make sure, check your car, your tires. Make sure it's up to date in every aspect. Have your map, your route knowledge. You know exactly where you're going. I can't tell you how many families that I've talked to that have said, we went on our way. We went to Big Bend or through Colorado, and we didn't have Wi-Fi at some point. We couldn't connect to anything, so we didn't know where we were going. So map out your plan before you go, and then make sure if you're going to be driving, technology is in the car, but don't let it distract you. And especially if you have those younger drivers in the family, make sure that they have their eyes on the road.
It's great advice. It seems so basic, right? But, you know, car travel can be dangerous if you're not prepared. Let's talk about vaccinations and mask wearing. This is something that is still controversial, and people either choose to wear a mask or not, or get vaccinated or not. But you say know the rules for the places where you're visiting.
Absolutely. Of course, it's your choice whether or not you want to wear a mask personally or get vaccinated. But when you go to an establishment, whether you're getting on a flight, going to a hotel, going to a restaurant, whatever, an art gallery, each place has its own rules, and you absolutely have to follow them. There can be criminal charges if you don't. So we're encouraging people to make sure, if you're very uncomfortable or you have strong convictions on how you want to handle this, know the rules of the destination you're going to, the entity you'll be visiting, so you don't have any problems.
And let's face it, Rania, there's a lot of families who are now going to be going back into the office. And so maybe their kids are home or they're in summer camps. Let's talk about this topic of Uberization of drugs, because it's in the headlines and it's one of those things that you hear about, but don't be too quick to judge like, oh, that doesn't happen in my house, because it can happen to anyone.
We just had Dr. Laura Berman not too long ago on our podcast, and she lost her 16-year-old son, Sammy, while he was sitting in their home in California. He only needed a cell phone. That's all he needed to get a 15-cent pill sent to his front door. Kids can get access to alcohol, drugs, pills, counterfeit pills, and in a drop of a hat in seconds. And a lot of these apps have GPS tracking devices, so the dealer can easily find where your child is and make delivery very, very simple. The problem is that not only are you introducing a child to things that they should not consume, but some of these pills are laced with fentanyl, and one little pill is taking the lives of children across this country. So we're urging parents to just know that this is happening. And if you have only one conversation with your family this year, please actually let it be this one, because too many kids are dying. The parents don't know what's happening, and the kids certainly don't know what they're ingesting.
It's absolutely heartbreaking. Rania, a couple more points to hit before we let you go. Pool safety, this is a huge issue every single year.
It's one that's very heartbreaking. You hear about these toddlers that just wandered off and fell in the pool. Have a plan. Have a family talk. That includes everybody in the family, from your youngest child who can comprehend what the rules are. All of you have a duty to watch the little ones, to make sure that there's no option for them to inadvertently fall into the pool. Think about physical changes that need to be made in the home, whether it's door locks, doorbells, gates, alarms, and make sure that those are implemented. That's a critical conversation as well.
Absolutely. Let's also talk about camp safety and the conversations that we need to have, not only with our children, but the people that are running these camps.
Yeah, not enough parents think about the safety of their kids in camp when it comes to things we don't want to think about, like sexual assault of children. And trust me, we don't want to think about it, but we've personally studied it, and there have been thousands and thousands of cases across camps across this country. Camps operate under a different rule, unfortunately, different than schools and daycare facilities, and it's time that we've changed that. We've started it. But we're encouraging parents to ask about the counselors, who they are, what the ratio of counselor to child, how kids can report, talk to your kids about what they should report, and ask your camp if they've had any issues in the past. Up until this last session in Texas, you didn't have to have a reporting mechanism for this type of assault on a camp, and we needed to change that. We did.
And Rania Mankarios, we got to leave it there, but one final reminder that when it comes to cars, never leave animals or children in cars. Those internal temperatures skyrocket during the summer months. Thanks so much for your advice.
Thank you for having me, guys. See you.
Great to see you. And if you would like to connect with Rania and for more information on Crime Stoppers of Houston, you can visit our website, HoustonLife.tv.
And Houston Life will be right back. Oh boy, that hour flew by, didn't it?
It sure did. And you know, I'm so glad we revisited the Heimlich maneuver technique today. Rhoda actually shared with us after the segment that she lost a friend because her husband didn't know how to properly do the Heimlich and save her life. A horrible story, and I think a great reminder for all of us. Learn the Heimlich. It could save the lives of someone you love.
Or yourself. If you live alone, you have to know how to do these things if by chance you start choking.
It's true. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back tomorrow.